Hey everyone, today's topic is can I get a green card for my second spouse when I got mine through a prior marriage? Friends, welcome to greencardguys.tv. I'm your host, John Ting. I practice immigration law in all 50 states of America and across the world, helping you solve your immigration problem and maybe even helping to prevent it from happening in the first place. So let's help you get that legal status that you deserve. So folks, this is quite a common question, and I want to help share with you the timeline because ultimately, in general, you can sponsor a spouse who is to really answer the question directly, yes, it's possible. If you got residency through a U.S. citizen spouse, and now you have it, right? And somehow, right, maybe just so happened coincidentally, just things started to fall apart. You didn't, you got separated, you got divorced, and then people are wondering, oh, well, I got the green card now. Can I sponsor someone else? You could, you could more easily sponsor someone when you're a resident if the other person, uh, your new spouse, is outside the United States. If the spouse is here in the U.S., that person, and you're a resident, that person has to maintain legal status. So, for example, like a non-immigrant visa could be L1 visa, or another work visa like H1B or TN visa, or they're a student, for example. But to be honest, in terms of the phone calls that we get, that's likely not the scenario. Okay. If you're a resident and your spouse is here, overstayed their visa, the reason why it's a huge significant legal difference when you marry a US citizen and go through the file your paperwork is because when you marry a US citizen, you go through all that, you overstay your visa, you waive it, the law automatically waives unlawful presence. But that's for default if you enter with a visa. Now, for folks, so that's why we always encourage for people who already are a resident that you try to, you essentially we help set up, if you like, we help set up a calendar event to remind you when you're eligible to become a U.S. citizen to apply for it. Now, the thing is, though, that's a 3 or 5 year rule. So I think some of y'all know this is that the end of the 3 years to apply to become a resident, apply to become a citizen, you have to still be married with that spouse that you got residency with the first place. So if you got divorced from that spouse that helped you become a resident, then it defaults back to the 5 year rule. Okay, so that kind of gives you an idea. All right. Now, of course, a lot of people understand that they want to become a citizen, but they just have to wait that certain time period. So it can be frustrating in that sense. Okay, folks. For those that are just tuning in, welcome. We love to answer questions. I try my best to do that. So drop a question or a comment down below. I'll try my best to answer you. But I just want to, go a little bit more detail about what I want to share with you here today. So ultimately, yeah, I mean, some people call us after they filed the 485 application, but you're still a resident. It's going to be a problem, and especially if you're thinking, oh well, I'm looking for my interview to be waived. No go. That's likely not going to happen when you're a resident and you sponsor your spouse. If anything, they're going to hopefully send you a request for evidence saying, look, what was how did you maintain status? Can you provide proof of it? Right. And you're thinking, well, I've heard about so many people got status, green card, they didn't have to leave the US. Well, everyone's situation is different. Okay. We get a lot of phone calls like that. Well, what about me? What about me? Everyone's situation is different. That's why we have to have one-on-one. That's why we encourage y'all, give us a call. Okay. All right. Which our number is, by the way, because especially on TikTok, they don't allow us to like write this down. So, or put it on the screen. So write this down, 720-740-4247. If you didn't get it, that's okay. Go to our website, greencardguys.com. It's very easy website to remember, greencardguys.com. Okay, you can go to that website, go to the contact page, answer a few questions. It actually allows you to schedule an appointment on your own. Now, keep in mind, though, that our team sometimes has to cancel some appointments because sometimes they're able to email you a free guide, and that's maybe all you need for now. Maybe you need a lawyer later on, but we don't guarantee a strategy session for everyone just because we don't have as much time as we prefer. But we're usually pretty booked up for a couple weeks. But we do allow some appointments available on the calendar. Okay, for you folks that want to self schedule on your own. So that's a little thank you from our team to you because you follow us on social media. So that kind of give you an idea. But we try our best to answer your questions in a consultation. So the best way to do that is if you are ready, as soon as you fill out that form, our team will call you the same day or within 24 hours, basically the next business day. All right. So just please answer the questions. Some people are a little bit, I don't know if entitled is the right word, but some people are a bit resistant to share information to our team members. So the people that are calling you, our team members, they're called the CARES team specialists. They're not lawyers, but we train them to ask certain questions to help guide the consultation because, most lawyers, they charge for consultation and there's a reason. I get it. A lot of people are like, well, I went to school for this. I studied for the bar exam. I get it. But there's a lot of y'all that already have a lawyer, just fired your lawyer, filed your case on your own. We just want to help point you in the right direction. If anything, there is no obligation to hire us. Of course, it's our pleasure to help you. Okay. It's our pleasure to help you from start to finish or in the middle of the case to the finish line to get your legal status. Okay. Now, hey, Dora, nice to see you. Which I think we need to follow up with your question from yesterday. So if you have a question that I'm not able to answer today live show, you're welcome to send us a message. I know you could do that on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, but I know YouTube. Yeah, you could do that on YouTube as well, I guess, as a comment. But what else? Okay, so the marriage thing, today's topic. All right. So you really got to understand the timing because some of y'all maybe get a little excited, get married to your second spouse, or you're like, yeah, I'll sponsor you. No problem, buddy. I'll sponsor you. And then turns out, yeah, that was not a good idea. And you spent all this money on the marriage ceremony. Maybe you didn't have one, but the fact that you just went through this whole process and you're thinking, oh yeah, I can sponsor the person, but yeah, you could file a petition. Okay, no one's going to stop you from doing that. You certainly can, but then you're going to get frustrated. The petition can take, I don't have it pulled up right now, but the processing time for petition when the spouse is a resident, it takes a heck of a long time. So let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Okay. I hope this makes sense, right? Because I know, again, a lot of y'all get really excited to get married again, and want to go on to the next step. But this is something that a lot of people call us about, right? And they're like, "Why is it taking so long? I got my status, my spouse helped me," and then we ask, "Well, what status was your spouse?" And they say, "Well, U.S. citizen." Well, there's a big difference. Okay, so again, if you're just now joining, the topic of the day is, can I get a green card for my second spouse when I got mine through a prior spouse, through a prior marriage? Yes, it is possible, but you really need to know the ins and outs. Okay. So there's things that the USCIS.gov website is not going to just have it right there on the instructions right there for you. That's just not how it works. You get it. That's what lawyers do. We piece it together. And that's why we have our own free guides to share with you. Okay, so if you're interested in family pathway, investor as a business owner, even if you're not a business owner right now, so employment based, if you're a company or HR, for example, go to our website, greencardguides.com, scroll all the way down, and it has those free guides. If you have a little bit more specific situation, like you've been outside the US or you failed to maintain your status, something like that, and you're a resident, we do have or basically abandon your status. We do have a free guide about that as well, or about expedite a request. So we can help you out with that. So we'll point you in the right direction. All right. I got some questions. Got some questions here. Anu on YouTube. No, there's a 3-year rule. If you got your green card through marriage, U.S. citizen, and you're still married to that person, you can apply for naturalization to become a U.S. citizen in 3 years' time. And actually, you can actually file the application 90 days before that 3-year mark or the 5-year mark. So yeah, you technically, essentially, you can only sponsor, like Anu said here, essentially because of timing, you really can only sponsor one person, okay, within a 5-year period. That's really just the best case scenario. Sure, if you file a petition now as a resident, but then you just can't really help the person to actually get the residency until you become a citizen, because ultimately a lot of people in this situation, the spouse, beneficiary, foreign nationals here in the U.S. Okay, so it's going to take a heck of a long time. All right, so Nitesh, you are a citizen. You sponsored residency for your parents abroad. It went dormant because you didn't go to the next stage of submitting fees for interviews, where you arrived it and it's been rescheduled. Oh, thank goodness. Because yeah, when you don't pay the fees and you haven't done anything, which the first step when it gets to that stage. So we got Nitesh on YouTube talking about a case that's at the National Visa Center. You have to pay the fees. And National Visa Center is a stage where you have to provide the financial documents like your pay stubs, if you're a sponsor. So hopefully in the next stage after this, provide your financial documents and your police clearance record, police certificate of your parents. The foreign nationals, then the U.S. citizen does not have to do that. Fortunately, the sponsor doesn't, even if it's a resident. Let's see what else. So hopefully, GLAD's been rescheduled. So if it's been scheduled, then maybe you did all that already, Nitesh. Okay, sounds like. Okay, your next follow-up question. By the way, folks, if you enjoy the way we share content, appreciate it. Please hit the screen on TikTok, click the thumbs up on YouTube, Facebook, and tap the hearts, okay, on Instagram. Greatly appreciate it. Apparently, marketing team says that's important. If that helps me feel better to go live every weekday. Can't do the weekends because my family won't like it. Need to spend some time with them. All right, Nitesh, you said that for interview at the embassy, your dad has a health problem, cannot go at the allocated date. Your mom can't go because she is the only caretaker. Yeah, then you just kind of have to reschedule. I mean, I'm sorry that your dad's not feeling too good, but yeah, you just have to be realistic that if you have to reschedule, then you just have to assume that your parents' interview is probably not going to happen for at least a couple months, right? Because roughly at least 350,000, hopefully around that. Because last time I checked, it was closer to like above 400,000. But essentially, there's a lot of freaking people waiting for the interview abroad. Okay, so, but yeah, Nitesh, your parents have to get medical exam, biometrics. So hopefully, hopefully you got all that done already. Let's see. You said follow up. Oh, sorry, I had a break question in 2 parts. How to do the rescheduling? I think you just email the consulate or embassy. Yeah, I think so. So that should be enough. But if you think it's going to take you more time or your parents more time, in that sense, you don't want to waste the consulate embassy's time. You might as well give them an idea, like, hey, use kind words, of course. Hi, blah blah. My dad has a medical situation. He won't be available. Please schedule an interview after XYZ date, right? Because then you don't want them to schedule another one, and then it just backfires, right? They schedule in time where he's not available again. So then, of course, people working at the consulate embassy are going to get a little frustrated because they're trying to help you out. So, hopefully that gives you an idea. Let's see here. So yeah, back to this topic of the day. Some of y'all think like, oh, well, my petition's taking forever, and I'm a resident or something like that. And you're thinking, oh, do we need to sue the government? Well, you didn't play the strategy right in that sense. Okay, so you have to make sure that you wait that certain time period. Let's see. Looking for the other questions. Okay, so here's the thing. Um, right, Emily. Yeah, 5 years exactly. So that's what I meant to say. So what I'm trying to clarify, that don't file the petition if you're the resident, okay, and you're trying to file for another spouse, okay. It's really, you have to wait until you're a U.S. citizen. It's really the best case scenario. Otherwise, you'll just be waiting and waiting, thinking, "Oh, I just got to wait this processing time," and yeah, it just wouldn't make sense to do that. So yeah, save your money on the wedding ceremony, unless your spouse can wait it out that amount of time, which may work because if if your spouse is willing to wait, and if you're married for at least 2 years, and then in general, if you're married for at least 2 years and then file for residency, then you go straight to permanent resident status. You don't have to get conditional resident status. So hopefully that helps, because for those folks that have to go conditional resident status, that those are people who got married and then filed for these paperwork, these forms, this package for adjustment or consular processing within that 2 years. Yeah, then you got to go through another similar process in the future. So it's kind of frustrating for people. Of course, we're here to help, but some people, of course, want to file sooner than later because you want the work permit, you want to get going with your status, you want to travel without any restrictions. I completely get it. Good afternoon, Pertensky. Nice to see you. Let's see. Okay, so let me go to Instagram, folks. How long does I-130 Nebraska Service Center take to adjudicate? Well, let's check it out. What's your relationship? Are you the U.S. citizen, or are you the sponsor, or who is it? Like, what is the legal status of sponsor that helps determine the drop down menu here that I can share with y'all, at least on Facebook and YouTube. Okay. Let's see here, folks. On TikTok, welcome. By the way, folks, if you're just now joining, welcome to greencardguys.tv. My name is John Ting, immigration lawyer here in Houston, Texas. We're legit. We have a Google business profile. We have over 300 five-star reviews. Thank goodness. We really care about customer service. But also what I'm trying to say here is that we have an office. I know some of y'all prefer a lawyer in a physical office. We have one. We have a team that working on the case packaging, for example, helping you, our client advocates. Okay. So we're legit in that sense. I know a lot of lawyers also, other people prefer to work from home, but we're not what we call like virtual in that sense. We have an office. You can visit it. Even if you don't live in the Houston area, come hang out. Let me know in advance. I can take you to a nice restaurant for like brunch or something, or lunch. Love showcasing what we got here in Houston, Texas. I'm not from here, but I'm from the Dallas area. Anyways, a lot of good food here. So if you're from Houston, then you know what I'm talking about, or if you live here. Okay, what's up, Leroy from Russia? Okay. Redunicorn, shout out to you. You have a blessed day also. Tigamon, you have a green card. How long after you marry your girlfriend that's on DACA before she can apply for green card? Well, depends, similar to this topic, right, of today, depends how you got your residency. Okay, but I really recommend you become a citizen first. Then you can help your spouse or your girlfriend. Okay. For 601, Martha, 601A, will your spouse have to leave for the interview with USCIS? Yes, unfortunately, you just have to wait for USCIS to even just make a decision, mail it to you about the 601A. Unfortunately, it's taken a hell of a long time. on the processing time schedule, it says 40 months. I check almost every week. It seems to change slightly every week. But that doesn't mean you have to wait the 40 months or whatever the hell it says on the processing time schedule on the website, okay? Before the pandemic, it took on average about 8 months to get approved after we mailed it out to USCIS. So they're giving a lot of excuses. There's a couple, I think at least one class action lawsuit to try to push USCIS to make a decision within a certain amount of time. I love class action lawsuits. The only issue I believe in something like this is that and I can't speak to those other lawyers and then what they're trying to do. They're helping out. They're trying to help out. But I think in this type of case, I prefer that it's individualized in that sense, not just multiple people in one case. Because imagine USCIS will be more resistant when essentially, they're what do you call? They're more resistant to make the decision sooner. So when it's a lot of people. User 986, it's nearly 9 months on status. It says wait for decision, take longer than that. I don't know what kind of case you have. And you said travel case closed recently updated. Okay, what does that mean? I'm not sure what you mean. So please provide more information. I don't know what you filed. Sounds like 131. Did you file 485? But in general, I know there's a new update on your people's online account, and it says like, oh, 1 more week. One more week or whatever amount of time. Honestly, don't believe that bullcrap. I think it's great that they're trying, but they just started recently. I think this recent change is about like a couple weeks ago. So that kind of give you an idea. Okay. Yeah. So just because even if they lie, how can you hold them to it? You know what I mean? Let's see here. Right. Am I seeing year 16? Am I seeing any marriage-based green card interviews being waived? Absolutely. I mean, most of ours, majority of our marriage cases are being waived when a few things are in order here. Most of the time, the common facts are the entry with the visa. Okay. Also, let's see what else. Marriage to U.S. citizen sponsor. Okay. So that kind of gives you an idea. But also, you have to use our proven checklist. Okay. But of course, it doesn't have to be us. But we have a proven checklist with certain evidence that works. Watermelon Warrior, love the name. What do I do in that day that you have to do? Okay. That was immigration related. I guess I was wrong. Let's see. Sorry, guys. One moment. Got to message the team. Okay, so Charvon, how long do you wait for appeal on a case? If you mean you already filed a 290B, is that what you mean, or BIA? Is that which kind of case? Either way, they both take a hell of a long time. There's no similar to I was talking about processing time schedule. Not that they really follow it anyway. But in terms of like 290B form is not even on the freaking USCIS website in terms of sharing the processing times. And I believe the reason is because they don't want to be held accountable, right? It's the U.S. government. What do you expect? You expect more? You expect them to be accountable for their actions? You might be in the wrong country if thinking that. I mean, we're a world superpower. The dollar is strong, but accountable? You got the wrong country if you're thinking that. Okay? So unfortunately, the 290B is not on a processing timetable. So that's why when people are thinking about appealing their decision, especially let's say it's like a marriage case, if it didn't say anything about like marriage fraud or that type of language, then we tend not to file an appeal, a 290B. It's not really even appeal. Inherently, traditionally, it's considered like an appeal, but with USCIS, it's motion to reconsider or motion to reopen the 290B form. I'm not sure if that's even the form you're talking about, but anyway, we generally, if it doesn't say anything about like marriage fraud, then we just refile the case because they can be held more accountable in that sense. Okay, more likely able to sue them. Let's see. Y'all are great. Love to answer your questions. Thanks for putting a question in the comment section. John Million, good afternoon. U.S. citizen wife has filed for you. You're in the U.S., okay. Your wait time was 7 months. Now it's saying my wait time could be more or less. Why is that? Like, you might have just joined, but again, USCIS is trying to do something new, seems to be proactive, but they just can't make promises. So, at the end of the day, what are you going to do? Sue them? Like, they don't assume that data or made up date is like going to help you. Like, I don't know how, like, it's not going to be helpful. It's a completely new thing. I think it's like just started like a couple weeks ago. So, and especially something new. Hopefully we can hold them accountable, but yeah, let's see. Let's see here. Someone talked about my credit score. Yeah, interesting. Okay. Amanda. Amanda, after the medical exam, what should you accept? I don't know what you mean. What should you accept? Like, what's next mean? Is that what you mean, Amanda? What's the next step? I'm assuming you already filed your case many months ago, and now you just provided the medical exam because I just asked for it. Then the next thing to expect, okay, trying to figure out what I'm going to say. What to expect is that, for our clients, fortunately, they've been approved like maybe 1 or 2 days after when they received the medical exam. There's actually just one that's been taking a little bit longer for some reason. Oops, I gotta set my. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm back. But yeah, there's one case where we had the interview, had to provide medical exam after, and it's now taken a bit of time. Thanks for the hearts, appreciate it. Thanks for the follow, the hearts, the likes, the thumbs up. That helps me feel a little bit better to go live every weekday. So appreciate it. And please, if you know anyone that has an immigration question and you appreciate the way we share information, please share our channel to your buddies. Sorry, I know some of y'all like repeating comments. Don't worry about that. I'm really trying to go one by one from the top, so you don't have to copy and paste it. Because now I see like 5 or more of the same comment. So let's see here. Someone said "Raw America," yeah. Who going back all the way up? Okay, here we go. Thanks, Christy. Appreciate it. I am appreciate it. Trying to go one by one on these comments. I'm trying to hit high level. You know me. I like to go real detail, but I see a lot now, so I'm gonna have to go real high level here. Okay, your wife moved to a different state, didn't come back for your 750. Ooh, report her? I don't know. What's the purpose of reporting? It's kind of like when people say, I want to file a lawsuit. You have to know the purpose. So Zhao, I don't know if are you the U.S. citizen or are you the foreign national beneficiary? I guess even if you're the U.S. citizen, I don't think you're the U.S. citizen in that sense. But sounds like you're separated, divorced. So I don't know. But if you were married at the time, when you file the first 751 and now you're separated, then you might as well file for divorce because you have to refile your new 751 based on divorce. Okay. And even if you're not legally, what's it called? Legally divorced. That's the word, divorced. Sorry, I'm thinking like 5 different things at once. Even if you're not legally divorced, it's okay in terms of filing your second 751 because number one, 751 is taking hypothetically 48 months to process because when you file the 751 application, you get the receipt notice that have auto extension for 48 months. So USCIS is acknowledging they take hell of a long time to process these. Okay. So in your situation, sounds like you filed it. So by the time you file your second one through some time, you might be a resident, conditional resident for 5 years already. Then you can apply and become a citizen. Okay. So Paulette came as a tourist, married a military U.S. citizen a week after. Congratulations. Been here 3 months, KUAOS. It's been a 2-year relationship. Well, is it 2 years of marriage together? Then either way, you can still file it. Yeah, I mean, there's no hard and fast rule in terms of like how long you have to be in America until you file for residency. Because I know everyone's concerned is about intent to stay here or not supposed to have that intent. So again, there's no hard and fast rule on that anymore, but we do recommend waiting 3 months at least of number one, being married together for 3 months. And also if you recently entered 3 months ago, then you can file. Plus, honestly, it helps, that 3-month period helps build the evidence together, like a joint bank account, to show those transaction activities. Folks, I mentioned that yesterday. I think it's not just having the bank account only. Have to show you're using it. Okay. How do you run away from ICE? Sorry, I can't answer that question. Okay, I answered that one already. Deborah, can you ask for advanced parole AP with DACA if you're still waiting to hear back from 601A? Absolutely. And if you do get it approved, then you may want, and you actually exit the United States even for 1 day or a couple hours, you re-enter, then you could apply for residency, okay, while in the U.S. 485 application instead of hearing back from 601A, because that's taking a hell of a long time. Okay, folks. So, but you can't just willy-nilly apply for with the 131. You have to have, the instructions are on there on the website, but you have to have some kind of proof that you're going for a work conference, so job related, or basically a family illness, for example. We use the reasoning of like a family member needing having a memorial, things like that. So, and that's worked, but you can't just say I want to go to Mexico or France just because you want to for tourism. That's not going to work for DACA Advanced Pro. Okay, I'll kind of give you an idea. What's my ethnicity? Taiwanese American. Americano. You were born in Germany, left when you're 15. You want to bring a girlfriend from Germany. Can you? You have green card. Well, welcome. You want to bring a girl? Yeah, I mean, it's possible. You can file as a resident. Right now, Visa Bulletin. Let me see here. Visa Bulletin. Right now, it doesn't matter what it shows right now. It's more about in the future, closer to the National Visa Center stage of it. Okay, so but right now F2A is current anyway, so that's a good thing. But yeah, I wouldn't, if you're talking about your girlfriend, I wouldn't have her try to come here and overstay a visa. Not that you're suggesting that, and then you're still a resident, because again, then if she overstays, you have to be a citizen for her unlawful presence to be waived. Okay, so that's a key difference there that I'm trying to emphasize on today's topic. I see some repeat questions from earlier. D on TikTok, you said you're an international student. You're also 19, single. Your parents have GC. What to do now? So you're 19, you're single. So I would go ahead and have them file for the petition I-130. Okay, because then you're 19. Now, right now, you're considered F2B category. So, if you become over 21 and the timing of it, then being married or unmarried, that's when it's a key difference. Okay, so when you're married, that drops it back like, let me look at, and I'm looking at the visa bulletin right now. At least on chart B, it drops it back like 7 years. Okay. I mean, for most countries, for Mexico, for example, is like drops it back like 3 years. So it just depends on the scenario. But congrats to your parents. Pew Pop. If the American spouse's salary is not enough, can the foreign spouse use their income in the U.S.? Only if you have a work permit, okay, a valid work permit. Then the foreign national spouse is able to use it. But if you don't have a work permit at all, then you cannot be a joint sponsor. But maybe you don't need a joint sponsor yet. We look at assets first, which is like checking account, stocks. If you own a house, maybe you don't own it 100%, the bank does, but you have pretty good amount of equity in there, then maybe that could work. Okay, we're happy to help you out from moving middle of the case to finish if needed. Miss Bode, you're a U.S. citizen and you're about to sponsor your fiance when your fiance gets here and marry. Can you file for a green card soon after? Yeah, I mean, as soon as your fiance gets to the U.S., you get married within that 90 days. For us, there's no rule to file the case within 90 days, only as long as you get married within 90 days. But knowing how clients love to get their work permit and all that sooner than later, we have our team prepare everything before usually the fiance even comes to America. Okay. Rich girl, how about citizenship? I need a little bit more detail on that because there's a lot to say about that kind of question. Andrea, what if your husband has DACA? Is it easier to get a citizenship? So before even citizenship talk, you have to get residency first. So that's a green card. Okay. So if your husband has DACA, that's great. That's a great start. We have to see whether he can get AP, advanced parole, or not. But if he's able to get AP, then oh, cool. Someone gave me a hat. Looks like it only shows up for a second. Thanks for the hat. Appreciate it. It's a little more fitting since I'm in Texas. Actually, one of my law school classmates thought being in Texas that I ride a horse everywhere. I think he was just messing with me. But yeah, we have to go to the countryside, I guess, the ranch. I mean, there's been a couple times I've actually seen horses on the road, but I have no idea what the heck was going on. Actually, that was Dallas. Anyway, Andrea Navarro, yes, your husband can get residency. It's possible through you, but if you want to try to avoid the waiver, which is what I recommend because it's taking forever, and plus you can't even file the waiver until your petition is approved. So I recommend we strategize with you to see if he's even eligible to apply for advanced parole if he's got one of those reasons there, okay, available to him. Let's see. So happy to help. By the way, folks, thanks for tuning in. Our phone number is 720-740-4247. And if you're a little shy, that's okay. You can give us a call. I mean, if you don't want to give us a call quite yet, go to our website, greencardguys.com. All right. We try to make it a little catchy so it's easy for you. Remember, greencardguys.com. And just go to a contact page, answer a few questions, and it can actually allow you to self-schedule an appointment right after that. Now, please keep in mind, it's not automatic. Even though you did schedule, our CARES team specialist will call you within 24 hours of a business day and see if we can point you in the right direction. If it turns out that, maybe just emailing you a free guide at no cost to you is sufficient, or you just take a look at it for now, but sometimes they're able to, that might be enough to point you in the right direction. Especially we've been getting a lot of requests about expedite requests on that. So we do have a guide about that because some people think it's mandamus. but it might not be long enough wait. Now, I know some of y'all are saying like, oh, I just filed my case last month. When am I going to get my green card? That's not how it works. Okay. I know some people got it in like 1 week. That's pretty wild. Our average is about 3 months this year. Okay. So that kind of give you an idea. Let's see here. Yolanda, your husband got 765 approved work permit. Congratulations, you got the card. How much longer to get a residency? I need to know more. It's actually not so much about when, what's it called? Not so much about having the work permit before residency, because this year, sometimes people are getting residency first and not work permit at all, just because the way I understand, they broke up the timing, the workflow. Okay. So because the 131 and the work permit was holding back the decision on the 485. So that's why before residency applications, 485 was taking much longer. So seems like they fixed it to some extent. Let's see here. I'm scrolling here. Thanks so much for your questions. Let me see. Emily, thanks for your question. I don't have my guide handy on me, but we do have a guide specific to military folks that can answer more questions. So for your friend, they can contact us and we can email them a free guide on that. Okay. Thanks for asking. Hello, Louise. Hello, Natesh. Thanks. Welcome. Happy to answer. I have no idea. Do we know how long rescheduling immigrant interviews and take in India? I have no idea. Just going to be honest with you. Like I am with every question. I have no idea. And I don't even know when people are they're going to schedule in the first place. I have a rough estimate, but that doesn't mean it's going to be like exactly for you. So I hate to I wouldn't want to say something that's going to be incorrect. Spoily, please explain the parole process. Why there's so much paperwork? You mean like the 131I, 134 online for humanitarian parole? I don't think it's too much paperwork. If it's too much paperwork for you, then you're definitely not cut out to be an immigration lawyer, because all we do is paperwork. You do have to upload if you're considering that you're trying to be a supporter in that sense, or quote unquote sponsor. They don't call it sponsor on purpose because you don't have to file the affidavit of support form, the 864 version of it. But yeah, I don't think it's too much paperwork. It is kind of tedious, but compared to our other cases, I don't think too much. I don't know why it's more paperwork, but again, it's not much to us. But we have a free guide about that in general for folks. But since we don't accept cases for humanitarian parole, to be honest, just hate to charge X amount when it really the supporter should be able to get it done. Grocery Hut, am I an immigration officer? No, I'm not. I am a private lawyer. I have my own law firm. Okay. Yari, your boyfriend came to U.S. at age 6. Can you petition if you were to get married? You're a U.S. citizen. Yes, you can, but it also depends how you do it, which forms, which pathway, depends how he entered U.S. in terms of was it with a visa, so legal entry, or without a visa? Because if it's without a visa, generally you need to file for a waiver, 601, unless you're in the military, for example. Some exceptions apply where your boyfriend can, or your future spouse can, be in the U.S. and get residency, even though he entered without an inspection. Or maybe your boyfriend had a sibling or another family member file a petition on his behalf before April 30th, 2001. So those are the two main examples of an exception. So he wouldn't have to leave the U.S. But yeah, in general, you can file a petition. Okay. Okay, I think I answered some of your questions. Someone asked about, please explain the I-130A. I answered that yesterday, so maybe you didn't catch it, but I-130A doesn't have its own instruction page. If you're asked about evidence or something, I'm just trying to recall from that yesterday. But yeah, just follow the instructions on I-130. So I-130A is if you're married to a spouse. Okay. Billy Bad 777s. You've been married for 6 years and still nothing. So I'm assuming you already filed your case. Are you a U.S. citizen or your spouse a U.S. citizen? I hope so. But if it's 6 years, still married, maybe it's a petition only situation and you're waiting on the visa bulletin for some extent. But F2A is current, so I'm trying to figure out what your exact situation is. Okay, Camila's to go. Is that your restaurant? I gotta check that out. Let's see here. You have I-130 approved, 2019 fingerprint done, 2021 medical done, 2023 how much weight? I'm assuming you filed 45. If you filed the 45, then doesn't sound like you filed 40. Well, maybe because you said medical's done. They wouldn't ask you for the medical or fingerprints if you only filed the I-130. So Camila's to go. Maybe this is a good one, good situation. You give us a call, which little transition here, 720-740-4247 is our phone number, or just go to our website, greencardguys.com, and our phone number is there. You can answer the page there on the contact page. All right. Lovely Angelique, after 5 years of working for cash, how does one establish their income for a green card application? So you got cash, so probably no pay stubs, no other proof that you got payment. Well, only other proof is filing a tax return, okay? The form 1040 at least. So even if you don't have legal status here in America, you're supposed to file for your taxes. So if you have not, then you need to speak with an accountant to help you out with that. Of course, I mean, I'm happy to share our referrals. We have like a list of 3 usually for any kind of professional. Or if you're thinking about moving, it's a hot topic these days. Y'all are from California. Y'all need to chill out. Stop coming to Texas, okay? Our home prices are skyrocketing because y'all come from California. Okay, it's most of y'all. Let's see it. Just trying not to skip anyone, just trying to go in order, but it's hard because some of y'all copy and pasted your prior question. Your dad filed for, I guess, pastry done to order. I don't know. That's your first comment. Her dad filed for his daughter as a green card holder. Now that as a citizen, how long will it take for her? Well, I need to know what stage the case is in general, but assuming it's already possibly reaching closer to the priority date, you need to know which country of nationality, things like that. But it sounds like a situation your friend should contact us. Sorry, I'm trying to go high level, really high. I need to go up a little more because I got like 5 minutes left. Miss Bode, fiance, been waiting since May in Nairobi for interview. Okay, Nigeria. No, Kenya. So is this normal since May? Wait, did I even say the right country? Shoot, I'm sorry. Yeah, go to history class. Yeah, Kenya. Yeah, that's right. Had to double check. I apologize. Okay. Lagos is for Nigeria. Okay. Let's see. May. Yeah, I mean, it's July now. I would say that's normal, especially for a fiance visa applicants, especially because that's prioritized less than marriage cases. But what we like to do, we're trying to do better, is we do check the visa statistics chart every month. We need to share that with y'all, and it's been internal, but that kind of can give an inference on, because it shares how many visas are issued out per month, but also doesn't necessarily say like, oh, well, that these group were from like May. So that we don't know. Paloma, can a driver license be issued while waiting for a green card? Yes, if you have the work permit. I think in some states, maybe the notice of receipt is good enough. But in some others, it might not be. Okay. So, but otherwise otherwise it's waiting for the work permit, and then you use that as proof. Okay. Have you seen any marriage case? Okay. I answered that earlier. Jenny, any advice for someone who has a 2-year conditional resident card through marriage but separated? Yes. So I slightly answered this earlier, so you may have just joined. 3 months, I think you know this rule, the 3-month rule. Within the 3-month period before your 2-year card expires, you need to file the 751 form. Now, even if you file for divorce, which I recommend, but you file divorce, but it's still pending, you still need to file the 751. So a lot of people tend to wait on filing the 751 to USCIS because they're like, oh, the instructions say I need a divorce order. Yes, that's their preference. But look, you don't want a situation where USCIS is going to refer you to immigration court because you failed to file that form. And they're actually pretty snappy. They're pretty on point on this. So, but we write in a cover letter essentially that the divorce order is forthcoming. That's going to come up. But right now you have the divorce petition that you filed to get the case started. So hopefully that helps, Jenny. Let's see here. Chrissy, can you change your status if you overstayed? So no, unfortunately, you can change your status in terms of adjusting your status to residency if you get married to a U.S. citizen, or unless you're under 21 and you have a parent that's a U.S. citizen, then they can file for you. I'm not able to see your profile picture closely, but anyways, I was going to say in terms of another category, got tacos? Thanks. How does this work? Do I click on it? Okay, cool. So I'm getting through the comments, questions. I'm getting there. Thanks for your patience, everyone. Oh, Rose, appreciate it. How does that work? Do I tap it? Okay, cool. Can someone still get green card through marriage even if they have an order for deportation? Hope? Yes. How coincidental. Your TikTok name is Hope. It is possible to file a motion to vacate the prior removal order, but it depends on the situation. I need to know more facts. Someone said, please check YouTube question. Let me go over to YouTube. Okay, Katie, I guess that's your question. Let me jump to you. Thanks, I appreciate it. I'm like looking at 3 different things. How long does it take to file for prosecutorial discretion when what's needed to support the case? Okay, Katie, great question. The best case scenario is if you're married to a U.S. citizen. I know people don't like to hear this, but that's really the best case scenario. But even if you're not, it still might be possible, okay? If you have another petition that's already been approved and you want to file a waiver, for example, we've had cases get dismissed because of it. So it is a lot sooner to get a response from the government lawyers, Department of Homeland Security, and the judge if your case is still active. If your case is still closed currently or order removal, like Hope's situation, or someone she knows, he or she knows, I don't want to assume gender, then it's a lot slower response typically when there's a case already closed out. Hopefully that answers your question, Katie. But yeah, in general, if someone says they're married, we always tell them, look, let's file a petition, get an I-130 rolling, so we get that notice of receipt, so we can show that as proof. So that's an example, okay? Hopefully that helps. Oh, Lovely Angelique, I make money off the gifts we sent me. Interesting. Okay, well, thanks. I'll have my marketing team look at that. Okay, appreciate it. Appreciate the donation. Well, then I need to make sure TikTok hands me over something. Let's see here. So they got this new, I guess it's not new. They got this feature where if I swipe to the right, it'll show me the questions much larger. You guys probably already know all this stuff. I'm just trying to catch up, folks. Sani went for second N400 interview. Is this normal? But decision not made yet. That's not normal, but can happen. You're not the only one, that's for sure. But hopefully they gave you, why they hopefully it was productive. They got everything they needed, right? Something like one common example of like sometimes have a second interview other than like having to retake the test again, civics test, but maybe someone mentioned some kind of criminal record or got arrested, but you didn't bring those records, you didn't file it with you, so they asked you to come back and bring it. Or you had mentioned that you registered to vote, and oops, that's not a good idea to register to vote, but it happens. We have had some people call in from time to time for that. And you have to go back to your county, or at least in Texas, we call it county, not the city. But the county is the government level that handles the voter registration. So what we ask for at least is for a screenshot, at least something that shows that you're not a registered voter anymore. That's a lot of detail. Went on tangent. Hazel Eye Beauty, how long does K1 stay open to schedule interview? When does the application expire? 1 or 2 years? If I recall, it's 1 year, but because pandemic, at least during the pandemic, they were renewing that 1 year essentially. But even though we're post-pandemic now, there's still over like I think 350,000 people, maybe still 400,000 people still waiting for an interview. So I anticipate that they're still doing this. But some people still have to pay the fee again, so it's annoying. I think it's 265 USD. You're welcome, Miss Bodie or Baudet. By the way, folks, if you appreciate how I share content and just I'm trying to go rapid fire on these questions, please tap the screen or go share some feedback on reviewtinglaw.com. I greatly appreciate it. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Where's my office? M and J. We are in Houston, Texas. We have a Google profile in Houston and Dallas. I have a colleague, friend that shares his office with me in Dallas, but that's really more so of like we're preparing for a court case or something like that, because most of our consultation strategy session is remote by video conference, as you could probably guess, because I'm used to being on camera. But if you're in the Houston area or you're not in Houston, but you want to come hang out in Houston, have a consultation person or just hang out, that's cool too. I need to get out from time to time. All right, Veronica. Okay, apparently I got a couple minutes left on Instagram. I put these like phone setting focus to limit my time on social media. It's apparently doing a good job. Okay, I don't know how to change it on there. So I might get shut off pretty soon by my own phone. Let's see here. If I don't answer your question in time, I'm sorry. Just if you don't mind, please welcome to give us a call. Again, number 720-740-4247, or go to greencardguys.com, and our cares team member will give you a call within 24 hours of a business day. Irene got RFE for medical, sent it in, got second RFE exactly the same 2 days after. What the heck? It's just part of the workflow that it's all jumbled probably. So if you got that, if you happen to pretty sure medical clinic's not going to give you a second one. You can try. Some of our clients are able to get it for on the house, like no extra cost, but yeah, that's pretty annoying. If anything, send another response, but with a letter saying that you did send it, and here's a tracking number. Hopefully you sent it with tracking. USPS, FedEx, UPS, whatever. KD your original question was about PD. Get your case dismissed. Depends on which city your court is located, for example. So it just depends. But yeah, and also if you have proof of filing. I think I'm about to get kicked off on Instagram. I don't know why. I thought it deleted that focus. So if it kicks me off, I'll see you later, Instagram folks. Let's see. Yep, it canceled that. Interesting. Wow, this thing is pretty good. The iPhone is pretty good on keeping me accountable. All right, so can you get a green card if you came on tourist visa and gave birth? In general, yeah. But maybe through a spouse. not just by yourself, I guess. I don't know. I need to know if someone's going to sponsor you. You need to change to 10-year green card through marriage. Can I only file that after 90 days prior or not earlier? Oh, you got to remove conditions. You got to file within that 90-day period. You can't file it too early. In fact, if you do, we did it one time on accident. We got a little excited for our clients, filed like 2 days too early, or they received it 2 days too early. Then, yeah, they rejected it. So we got our money back because they didn't accept the payment. So, Veronica, I thought I answered your question, Veronica. Yeah, I gotta hold on. I'm going literally question by question. I don't see your question, Veronica, but that seems to happen. Some people say answer me, but no one actually answered a question. Um, oh, sorry, folks. I skipped some of y'all because it's like a repeat, I guess. Can I travel to your country with 512 with a pending 45? Yeah, I mean, if you have AP, you can travel out, but keep in mind, if you have a criminal record or arrested, that's not a good idea, okay, to travel out. Okay, I think I'm back on track here. But you need to, by the way, in general, if you got some information here, it's just information. That's my disclaimer. I'm supposed to say that, if you want legal advice, you do have to call us. I mean, it doesn't have to be us, but you need to speak with a lawyer so you get to make sure it's like the correct advice to your situation. Because like some of these questions here, can I apply for green card? Like, I don't know your situation. I need more facts. So I can only say in general, yes. Like Abby asked, can I adjust status first? I have no idea your situation. But if folks, you have a more specific question you type in, then I'm more able to answer it. But either way, it's always best to speak with a lawyer one-on-one. Okay. For us, our CARES team member will help us out in terms of lawyers. Why work permit takes so long? You're not the only one, Shosh Poo. You're not the only one. I'm sorry. There's a lot of people in general, even people who are asylum seekers, have the 589 file, but for you folks, I don't know why. They're just taking a heck of a long time. So they do have the auto extension, but it's supposed to be for specific categories. I mean, you can Google search it, auto extension EAD, and it should pop up the USCIS webpage about it, okay? Can I travel outside the country if you have a pending 751? In general, yes, Alanis Garcia, but you need to get the 512 stamp. So I believe USCIS is making it easier for y'all to file for that, okay, to get that stamp. In a sense, I don't think you have to call in anymore. That was such a hassle because we have to coordinate with our team, say, what is, when are you available to go to the local office? Like, I think they changed. I need to record a video of this, at least on YouTube or all these social media platforms. Yes, your brother can sponsor you as a resident, Elvia. Tatiana, when does USCIS normally do house visits? Before, after an interview? Could be both or either. But hopefully not after, but I've heard of that. I mean, fortunately, I'm very fortunate. We haven't had a case where we had a client who actually had someone where the USCIS had a site inspection. We had clients that it happened to, but it was like we took over the case afterwards, right? So that's why I recommend, if you've got the budget for it, hire a lawyer first before you file on your own. If you already filed on your own and you want to help supplement your evidence for your filing, we're happy to help with that, okay? But normally it's the house visit, site inspection by USCIS officer before the interview. And there's not really like a time schedule, like how soon after, because if it's before the interview, you wouldn't know when the interview is anyway in this situation. So I'm just, anyway, Audrey Lopez, your husband's, oh wow, a bunch of questions at once. C1D, sorry, no, you can't change status here. You got married on B1, B2, less than 1 month after being in the US. How soon can you submit documents? I recommend waiting 3 months. Also, you need to build up that evidence anyway. Y'all have a lot of questions. I'm sorry. I need to get a drink of water. For my honestly, my own mental health, I need to take a break. I need to really appreciate though. I really appreciate the questions. I just can't get to all y'all. I think I've been going live for like an hour. But please, you're welcome to send us a message. But honestly, the best way is to ask your question through our form on our website, because then a lot more of our team members are able to help out. But right now, it's just like me and one other team member on the TikTok things and Instagram. So it's better if you don't mind going to greencardguys.com and just answer a couple questions. Again, no obligation to hire us. If anything, again, it's our pleasure to help you from start to finish. But just please, what do you call? Please fill out that form, and then our team will try to get back to you as soon as possible. Every question is important to us, so thank you so much, and stay tuned. Today's Friday. I will see you back on Monday. Okay, y'all have a wonderful weekend. All right, take care now. Bye bye.